cherished ducklings. I am Peri Lyons, and you are my treasured and cherished listen. I haven't drunk anything. Listeners and viewers and friends. And I am here to help you. So if you have something that's on your mind, that's why I am dressed, as you see, as some sort of strange teal commando from the 80s. But you know, somebody has to dress as a teal commando from the 80s, and that someone is me. So before we start, and I can't wait to hear from you. One thing about this show is if you're listening, you're supposed to be listening. And if you're watching, you're supposed to be watching. and if you're not, well, that none of this matters. But I get the most amazingly cool people calling into my show. And I know that you're not only one of them, you're all of them. So let's start out the week with the psychic weather. And the psychic weather, tarot weather, predicts what's coming up this week, no matter what sign you are. It's a general sort of zeitgeist, which, as you know by now, my cherished ducklings, is my term for, well, it's the term for, it means spirit of the time. So I'm reading the Zeitgeist Tarot for you. And this is what's coming up at the beginning of the week for you, the middle of the week for you, and the end of the week for you. Ready? And I do this totally randomly. Okay. It's random, I promise. It's random, I promise. Okay. Okay, the first part of the week, well, this feels right. It feels like everybody, this is obviously, this dude is carrying a lot of sticks. And sticks, or wands, as they're called in tarot, have to do with day-to-day life, often work, or just, you know, as John Lennon said, life is what happens when you're making other plans. So this means that you're feeling a little overwhelmed, maybe today and tomorrow. I know I've been, but he's not. You see, he's bent down, but he's not broken. He's not on the floor. Woo! Okay, so angels guide my hands. This is nice. This means that if you're a woman, or if you're a man, or if you choose to identify as whatever gender feels right for you, or you're gender fluid, this card still applies. It's about a woman who she's interdependent. She's not so independent that she's out of touch with people. She's not so dependent. She's not dependent. She's interdependent. She's in a garden, a walled garden, which represents safety. And the coins around her represent, oddly, coins and money. So this is somebody, man or woman or other, who is stepping into their independence and interdependence in the world. The hawk on her wrist symbolizes ideas that she sends out into the world, which bring her back money and acclaim. So this is a great time to get your feet on the ground now that you're done feeling overwhelmed with all them sticks. All them sticks. This is a great time to take a deep breath, maybe start a meditation practice, and establish a beautiful sort of walled garden of your own. So what you're doing is you're finding your security in yourself. You have more resources, I promise, than you know, and you're ready to send your ideas, which might be your new business, out into the world to bring you back money, acclaim, and satisfaction. It's a very, very, very nice card. Whee! Okay, angels guide my hands. What does everybody need to know? Oh, that's interesting. This is often a card where perhaps you've applied for a grant. Perhaps you've applied for a loan. Perhaps you have entered a contest. Or perhaps you're in a moment when you want to do volunteer work. I know those things don't seem to fit under the same psychic umbrella, but they do. So this is a time in your life when you're either about to unexpectedly receive money and support from some sort of official presence, like the government or a college, or this might be a time when you're learning about grants. It might be that you've applied for a loan. This is very good news because this says that this is also a good time to do all of those things. So enter a poetry contest, apply for a loan. If you don't feel like doing any of those things, it's also a good time to get your mojo back by doing some volunteer work, or you can help out at your church or synagogue. By the way, well, I'll get back to that in a second. You can think about any friend you know who's going through a difficult time, just call them up or visit. So both of those things go hand in hand. You're either being rewarded for being useful or you're being of service and rewarding others. But either way, it's a terrific card. So that's a very good week. I'm very pleased. Hello. So there was a very powerful new moon in Virgo, along with Sun in Virgo, last week. And a lot of people have been going through times when they're sort of shaking out, getting rid of what is no longer useful to you. And sometimes that can also be who. If there are people in your life who don't serve your highest good and who are takers, and with any luck, you don't have those in your life. But if you do, this is a good time to come back and to your center, come back to your aligned self and ask yourself, what do I need right now to be my highest, happiest, well, not highest, no, don't do that, to be my most fulfilled, expressive, loving, happy self. It's because Virgo is a sign, very misunderstood sign. Virgo is actually about purity. It's not about what people think it's about, which is like being OCD and lining up the pencils on a table as you pass. It's about a search for a kind of purity in life and especially in work. And it is about being of service, which I guess is going to be our theme for today. So if you've been feeling like you really want to start working on what makes you happy, or start really taking seriously any talent you have or any work you've done in the past that's really about you, this is the time to do it. So God bless you, my little cherished ducklings. And, oh, sorry, somebody's coming into my house. Hello, fiance. So we've got some callers waiting, but please feel free to call in. The number is on your screen. And with an 87 to 92.5 recorded accuracy rate, I can help you. You can trust me. And not only because I'm dressed like a 1980s teal ninja. While we're waiting for our next caller to kind of suit up, I know a lot of you now are interested in your signs and in tarot, and that's wonderful. There are a couple of things I would like to sort of advise you about, if that's okay. There are a lot of people are sort of jumping, unlike me, who's been doing this for 20 years, there are a lot of people kind of jumping onto this bandwagon, mystic bandwagon. And not all of them are people that you should trust without thinking, or trust without doing a little investigation. There are psychics out there who have credentials. For instance, I've received a Goodness in Broadcasting Award, which is lovely. I've been profiled in the New Yorker. I have a very solid resume, and I've been doing this for 20 years. One thing I don't do, which is what sometimes younger psychics do, and Vicky in Long Island, hang out, baby, I'll be with you in 1 minute.
Thank you.
Sometimes newer readers or psychics, they can make some mistakes. And what I'm going to ask you to do is, if somebody says, you've got a curse on you, I will lift it for $400, hang up the phone, go take a shower, and go kayaking. No reputable psychic does that. If somebody says to you, if you do this, or if you don't do this, or give me this money, Anybody who makes you feel intimidated, afraid, or just anxious is not somebody you should be talking to. Somebody who reassures you, tells you that your future is really in your hands. They're just there to sort of guide you how to make the best of what's coming up for you. That's what a real psychic does. That's what a real tarot reader does. Anyone who does anything that makes you uncomfortable, hang up, get your money back, move on. All right? Thank you for listening. And Vicki in Long Island, are you still there, my angel?
Yes, I am. Hi.
All right. Hi, sweetheart. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm so glad you're here. So, darling, I'd like to ask you what your birthday is, because that's how I connect to people.
Sure, May 7th?
I'm sorry?
May 7th.
Oh, sorry, somebody's making noise in the background. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. I know it's a 7. I didn't hear the month.
Yeah, May.
Oh, May 7th. It's a great day.
19, you want the year?
I'm sorry? What was the last
You want
thing?
the year?
If you want.
Oh, 1960.
Oh, you're just a baby. So let me see what I've got for you. Do you have children and grandchildren?
I have children. No, not grandchildren, 2 daughters.
I'm going to say that you might actually have grandchildren within the next 18 months. Excuse me.
Oh, that would be interesting.
It would be interesting.
They're not married.
Well, within 18 months. I think one of them is going to get married and maybe start a child. You won't maybe necessarily
that would be wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know she's looking to meet someone. She broke up after a long relationship and has been single, went back to graduate school, worked for 2 years. So she's 27 and she's open to a new relationship.
Oh, that's great. This is a perfect time for her to, I'm so glad she broke up with that person, because 27 is often when the Saturn return happens in our horoscope. And it asks us to change for the better, which is why there's that 27 club, so many rock stars who've passed at that age, Amy Winehouse, Kurt, because they're entering their Saturn return and they're being asked to grow, but they were scared to grow out of personas that had made them popular. But for healthy people who are healthy, and I'm a huge Kurt, Amy, and all the others fan, huge. But for people like Amy, your daughter, it feels like this is a time when she's really stepping into her full happiness, her full glory. And the person she was with was not healthy enough in a lot of ways to accompany her on that journey. I think she's going to meet somebody. Yeah. I think that there's going to be a little pause of maybe 3 to 4 months, 7 at the utmost, outside. And she's going to then meet somebody who is her equal, who is an honest, caring, loving, smart, responsible person. And I think they'll click right away. And I think you can expect a marriage and perhaps the beginning of a baby within about 18 months. So I'm crossing my fingers for that. Yeah.
Oh, great.
She's not your only child. It feels like you have 3 children.
No. I have 2. I have another daughter who's just turned 23. I had a miscarriage once at like 5,
that's probably
5 months, so maybe. And,
I'm sorry.
I have another daughter who's 23. She's had a lot of health issues. She had migraines and she just had recently sinus surgery, and now she has TMJ. She's in so much pain. Do you see her getting better soon? Because
I'm so sorry. Absolutely. You know what I just did is I bought an air purifier for my house, a couple of them, and I also had my ducts, the heating and cooling system of the house. I had that cleaned out and disinfected, and it has done wonders. I'm not.
I'm so funny you mentioned that. Oh my God, I can't believe you said that, because I'm divorced and I moved last year, and we moved to this like beautiful new home. It's only 5 years old. and we were so happy with it. But she's had so many allergies, and she kept saying maybe we should get the ducts cleaned. And the owner is like, oh, no, this is a new house. It doesn't need it. Now they just found mold in a part of the basement. It's a new house that we don't use. And he's getting rid of it there, but he's just putting in, he scraped it off, cleaned it off, and he put an air dehumidifier in. And I wanted to get the ducts cleaned, and I'm thinking of doing it and then just giving him the bill and letting him fight with me because he keeps saying, no, it's fine.
I'm glad you said that, because what my guides are telling me is that she's very sensitive physically and emotionally. She's lovely. Your daughters are lovely. I really like them. They're very different and very alike, but we'll get back to that. So, she's very sensitive. So I just got a really good air purifier. That helps. And I got my ducts cleaned. sounds a little personal, but I did get the house, and this house is like, what, 10 years old, but I noticed that there was mold. Exactly. There's mold in the basement. My feeling was, if it's there, it's anywhere else. And it's helped. I'm not getting migraines anymore. So just something for you to think about. And I think the TMJ, what?
Oh, my dog's nose is even wet. I was the only one who was fine. My 15-year-old dog, her nose has been wet. And I'm like, I bet you there's something in the air here. Okay, but go ahead.
Oh. So, yeah, I think she is going to get better. I find when I decided to take transcendental meditation, which is a form of meditation that people teach, I found it helped my TMJ. I'm a singer, so I have TMJ. It helped my TMJ enormously, so much. So yeah, just get her to a good allergist. And I'm not a doctor, and I don't even play one on TV. But I think those things would really help her. And so let's talk about you, my angel. Now, it feels like you have some sort of love question on your mind. Is that the case?
Yes. I've become, through my own experience in the matrimonial and family court system, I found that it's just very corrupt in the sense where the lawyers are just there to make money. The judges don't really care about people, and that it needs a lot of reform. And I've become an advocate for the Americans with Disabilities Act, which you don't have to be disabled, like in a wheelchair or something. It's a host of asthma can be a disability, ADD, OCD, depression, cancer, anything, and that makes a person, men and women, a protected class member, so that when it's a he said, she said, according to the lawyers or yourself and your husband, if you're pro se, or your ex that you had a child with, that they need to apply the Americans with Disabilities Act to the orders that they issue and to the hearings that they provide as a matter of law, which the DOJ has confirmed, Department of Justice, that's in charge of this whole area of law. Yet the system is broken where even the DOJ doesn't come in time. And I've become an advocate, but none of these women have money, and I'm starting to run very low on my home sale funds, and I need to go to work, and I'd love to do this professionally as a social worker. I'm now a licensed social worker. I'm also a retired police officer. Thank God for my little pension, or I would have been, dead in the water. And I've been filing a lot of things for people, and we're finally starting to get some notice. And so I just wanted to know if your guides see me succeeding in making a career out of this, and will I be able to make this like a pay? And
being a social worker who helps people with the Disabilities Act, which is a noble
in the courts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you could. I think there are a lot of law firms right now who are sort of helping people for a half of what the disability settlement is. I think you could make.
I know how to apply the law, but I know how to apply. Sorry to interrupt you. I know how to apply the law to family law and matrimonial law when it comes to contested cases. So if someone says, no, I don't want to pay that much child support, or I want custody, or no, you can't buy the house when it's sold. I want it sold on the market. I don't want to sell you my house. Under equitable distribution laws, under the ADA, when you apply it, the court, the state will be violating, perpetuating discrimination against you. And I figured this out, and it works. And they even have it published on the DOJ website. for child welfare court. So it's not like I invented this. It already exists. It's just no one's applying it.
So,
I'm banging the drum.
I want to be able to give you time for me to respond to you. So you're banging the drum.
Okay.
That is a very noble thing to say. When I ask the cards, noble thing to do. What they say is that the High Priestess card is a card that is about a woman who has wisdom, who has knowledge that others don't, who makes a living off that wisdom, who is able to be wise and really help people with a combination of experience, knowledge, and intuition. And she brings a kind of empathy, detached compassion to the people she works with. I feel that's you, and I feel that this is a really noble thing to do. I would certainly think about, and now that, things seem to be, the Justice Department seems to be back to just doing its job as a Justice Department. I think things are healing in our government and in our country, and I think things will start to heal for the oppressed, and people who have disabilities. So I think just be a little patient. Let me just draw another card. The Fool card, which is not actually saying you're a fool. My cards don't go around insulting people. And your mother's dog too. Sorry. The Fool card means that you're starting a new journey, which you're prepared for. I mean, you have and it's a journey that seems kind of daunting at the beginning. But with your faith in yourself, and you have a commitment to a higher ideal, you want to help these people who are suffering and underprivileged. This card says to me that yes, you have a very, very big chance of succeeding at this.
Great. Wow, I can't believe those two cards came out. Yeah, I'm familiar with tarot cards. That's wonderful.
This card, which is from a different deck, the Capricorn card says that just be prepared for the day-to-day. I just dropped it. Be prepared. Make sure you run it like a business. Make sure you have strong boundaries. You know what your goals are. That you know that your time is valuable. So you do have to be recompensed for this. And that's the Capricorn card I just drew for you. So make sure you run it as a business, and that your empathy and kindness is your selling point, essentially. And you're doing a wonderful thing. And I'm very proud to have met you. I'm proud to know you. It's really an extraordinarily gracious and loving, and I'm even going to say noble thing to do. And
thank you. You know, a lot of times when you go through pain, and then you understand other people's pain. And I just, I feel like I've been guided to do this. So everything you said is very, very on point. I'm getting goosebumps. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, that makes me so happy. Goosebumps are the ultimate. So bless you, my dear. If you have any other questions, I'm at Peri Lyons on Facebook. And for everybody else, I love you. And come back next Wednesday. Thanks so much for calling, Vicki. It's great to meet you. And I can't wait to meet the rest of you. This is Wednesdays. I'm Peri Lyons, New York City celebrity psychic on Moonstruck TV, A1R Radio, Wednesdays, 9 p.m. EST. Please come back, because you know what? I love you, and I'm good.